The US now, where the biggest online dating website in the world, Match.com, has been hit by a civil lawsuit. Californian woman Carol Markin claims she was sexually assaulted by a man she met through the website.
I don't think people go on websites thinking that they're going to get themselves into unsafe situations.
She later discovered that the man she met had a history of misdemeanor sex crimes.
Now, as a result of the lawsuit, the company has announced it will now screen all old and new members against the National Sex Offender Registry, a decision that could change online dating around the globe.
Will this system really make online dating safer, and should all similar sites follow suit? For more, we're joined in Sydney by sexologist and relationship expert Nikki Goldstein, and in Canberra is Alistair McGibbon, Director of the Centre for Internet Safety at the University of Canberra. Good morning to you both. Nikki, this is happening in the US. Should Aussie dating websites, adopt a similar policy?
I think it's a great theory, but I don't think it's possible in practice. It's highly flawed. There's no guarantee that you're going to be safe even if the screening process is in place. And I do believe that the perpetrator in this situation had misdemeanor charges, so even if this was in place, he wouldn't have come up on this screening process. I also think we have to look at how far are we going to take this. If you're going to be screening on sex offenders, then why shouldn't we be screening on axe murderers and thieves? And you're just as likely to meet somebody who is a potential rapist out on a Saturday night as you're on the internet. So do we start screening people before they go into nightclubs? Do we start screening our potential Cleo bachelors? How far do we actually take it?
All right, Alistair, let's bring you in here. Is this a solid safety plan, or is there potential for offenders to fall through the cracks? We are talking about the internet, cyberspace. It is still the wild, wild west.
Well, look, this plan won't do anything at all to improve the safety, so I agree with the comments earlier. Most good offenders aren't going to be using their own name anyway, and one of the big problems online is establishing a person's true identity. And of course, not all sex offenders have been caught yet, so they're not on databases. Having said that, when Facebook and MySpace did start washing their membership lists against the sex offender databases in the US, there are a staggeringly large number of obviously very stupid criminals who had been using their own names. So it can have some effect, but I'd argue that it will have a very little effect.
Alistair, are companies accountable for their clients' safety on sites like this, or ultimately is it the user's responsibility?
Well, it's a bit of both, really. Obviously, users need to look after themselves, and I guess we'll talk about that later. But companies tend to structure themselves and their user agreements such that they limit their legal liabilities. Obviously, there is legal action taken against companies on the internet from time to time. Sometimes that's successful, sometimes it's not. I would say to companies operating online that the reason why they should care more about their customers and their customers' safety is because every negative incident like this actually reduces consumer confidence online, and we know that as trust decreases, so does activity. So it's time for companies online to do more to protect their customers, there's no doubt.
Nikki, people around the world are having success on these sites, and people will continue to use the sites. How do you suggest they continue to use that and use it to their advantage, use it properly and safely?
Well, I think first of all, you've got to not let stories like this dishearten you. It's great that it's highlighting a danger, but don't be put off by internet dating. I still believe that internet dating is a great way to meet people. You're able to quickly and easily see if someone's compatible, if they have things in common, if they share an interest, or if they're from a particular religious background that you're after. I also think people need to stop seeing internet dating as so serious. See it for what it is. It's another avenue to meet people, and go through the same motions that you would if you had met somebody out in public. Just the only difference is you happen to meet them on the internet and not at a coffee shop or a restaurant or through friends.
Yeah, plenty of people using these sites, and important information. Nikki and Alistair, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.